Well, hello, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been very, very busy lately, and I will make a vlog all about what we've been up to lately. But in this video today, I am sharing with you this recipe. It's for making a pumpkin mac and cheese, as you might have guessed from the title. And this was absolutely delicious. So yeah, I had to share it with you, and I'm definitely going to be making this recipe again a lot more. The children really enjoyed it as well. So we grew some pumpkins at our allotment this year, and these are the pumpkins that we're using. So that's lovely to use the produce that we've actually grown, and we used every part of the pumpkin really. We've used all the flesh to make a pumpkin puree, and I roasted the seeds with some olive oil and salt and pepper, and they were a lovely snack again that the children really enjoyed as well. And the peel, or the skin, we just put in the compost for growing more pumpkins next year. And I think we'll be growing a lot more pumpkins next year because I think it's just a great ingredient. You can make lots of things with it. You can make cakes, you can make soups, you can make curries, you can make mac and cheese, you can make pumpkin spice lattes, you can make all manner of different recipes with pumpkins. So yeah, I think we will be growing many more next year. I actually really enjoyed taking the seeds out. It was just really relaxing, just sitting there. I didn't rush, I just took my time. And it just felt really kind of therapeutic in a way. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. The next thing I did was just cut the pumpkin into big chunks. It was really difficult cutting into the pumpkin at first, when you first cut it into half. I was very cautious because I had a nasty accident once a few years ago when I was cutting up a butternut squash, and had to go to A&E because I had a nasty accident. But so it's made me very wary when cutting vegetables like this. So I was really trying to be very careful and not cause myself another injury. So can't say I really enjoyed the cutting up bit as much as I did taking the seeds out, but it had to be done. So yeah, just cut them up into nice big chunks, put them on some baking trays, and then roasted them in the oven on 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. And I drizzled some olive oil onto the pumpkins. I didn't put any salt or pepper on or anything, because usually if I was roasting pumpkin I would add different flavourings, but because I wanted the puree to be used for lots of different recipes, both sweet recipes and savoury recipes, I kept it kind of neutral and just added the olive oil. And now here we are on to the next stage. The pumpkins have come out of the oven. I've let them cool for quite a long time so that they're not difficult to touch. And then I'm just scooping out the flesh with a spoon and putting it in the blender. This is a new blender. We used to have a Vitamix, well we still do, but one of the jugs broke for it. The jug that does the wet ingredients has broken. So now we only have the jug that does the dry ingredients. So it's a dry mill and it just does things like grinds wheat berries and oats and all those different kinds of dry ingredients. And because our Vitamix was quite old, I think we've had it for about 10 years, they didn't make the jug for that model anymore. So we either had the choice of buying another Vitamix or getting something else. And we opted to get something else because the Vitamix costs about £750 and this Ninja blender cost 150, so it was a no-brainer really. We had to go for the Ninja, and it's not as good as the Vitamix, but it is quite good. It is pretty good. I mean, it does what we need it to do. I might have to blend it a few more times or whatever, but eventually it will get there. So we're quite happy with this. So we just put it in the new blender and blended that up into a nice puree. There are a few things that I do prefer about this Ninja blender though. One of them is that the jug is big. It's over 2 litres. I think it's a 2.1 or something. I'm not sure exactly. And it's wide, so it's shorter and it fits under the work, the cupboards on the over the work counter much easier than the Vitamix, because that was quite tall and it was awkward to put anywhere. So that's good. Also, I like that because it's a wider jug, it's easier to clean out and you can just take the blade out as well. So again, that makes it so much easier. With the Vitamix, the blade was stuck in there and you couldn't take it out. And it was very awkward to clean. But this, yeah, it's a very, very easy one to clean. So very impressed with that. And it's also got another attachment so you can knead dough in it as well, which is handy. I have got a KitchenAid, but you know, this is handy to have as well. And it chops up things like onions, and you can make a salsa really nice and quickly. You can blend all different things. It's great. It's actually really good, and only £150. I was actually quite impressed with the price for it. Now I'm just going to put the puree into some jars and keep them in the fridge until I've used them up. It won't be long until I've used them up. I'm sure I'll be doing lots of cooking over the next few days. And one of the best kitchen purchases I've ever made is this little jar funnel. It's not much, doesn't look like much, but it really is handy, because I remember the days before I had this and I would get the jars all messy, dripping stuff all down the sides when I was trying to put stuff in there. And yeah, this is just one of those gadgets that is just so handy. So simple, but so handy. So now we've got the pumpkin puree all ready, we are on to making the mac and cheese. I'm using 3 different types of cheese. You don't have to use this many different types of cheese, just use whatever cheese you like. But I'm using some cheddar, some Parmesan and some mozzarella. Some other ingredients that I'm using are milk, some mustard, this is Dijon mustard, some onion powder that we grew ourselves, some salt and some nutmeg. As you know, I'm a mother of 9, so whenever I cook anything, I have to cook a lot. So I'm using 2 bags of pasta, which is 1 kilogram altogether. I'm also using a clove of garlic, but I wish I'd actually used more garlic than that. I'm using some sage and some thyme that I grew. So I've now finished cooking the pasta. I've finished making the cheese sauce with the ingredients that I showed you. And I'm just going to mix that in together before I put it into a big baking dish. Oh, and of course I forgot to say that I did also add in the main ingredient into the cheese sauce, which was the pumpkin puree, I added 2 heaped tablespoons of pumpkin puree into the sauce, and the whole thing smelled absolutely delicious. But like I said, I wish I'd added more garlic actually, because I love garlic, and possibly some more herbs, because the flavours were just amazing, but I would have liked it to be perhaps just a little bit more intense. Now, to get all those lovely crispy bits, I am just sprinkling on some of that cheese that I've reserved. I reserved a bit of each of those cheeses, the cheddar, mozzarella and Parmesan, and then I shall pop this in the oven for about half an hour on 180 degrees Celsius, just until it gets nice and crispy and brown on the top. I spread the pumpkin seeds out onto a baking tray, added some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and I put those in the oven while the pumpkin mac and cheese was cooking, and they came out beautifully lovely and crispy and made a lovely snack. Really, really crispy, very tasty and very good for you. That is delicious. I'm definitely going to be making this again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I shall see you again very shortly. Thanks for watching. Bye.